All right, all right. We're back at the podcast today at Grit Won't Quit, and we have a guest here from North Dakota, Minnesota border on the Minnesota side. We have Micah from Crush Mode. Good morning, Micah. How are you today?
Good morning, Tom. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on your podcast here. I'm looking forward to this
Absolutely.
conversation.
I'm glad that you were able to join us, and we're going to do this one Zoom for all the listeners and watchers of the podcast. I am sitting in New Jersey, but we have Micah from Minnesota. Micah and I got connected about 6 months ago, probably a little bit longer, through our friend Brady Nash and Jason Gibbs, as he was starting a new venture with Crush Mode, and so we helped Micah build his website, and I thought Mike would be a great guest because he's in a different business than we normally talk about, and it's in the heavy equipment. Crush Mode is an aggregate solution company. So, Mike, could kind of give everybody an overview of what your company does, how you do it, and what's going on out there.
I would love to, Tom. So Crush Mode um, is the name of our company that was founded last year, 2023. Really kicked things off here August, kind of September 1st of 2023. And Crush Mode's primary focus is we are an aggregate equipment dealership, mobile aggregate equipment, which means primarily track mounted, self contained crushers, rock crushers, screens, conveyors, and more. But there's another side of the business as well, besides being a dealership, which is the aggregate consulting side.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 20 years in the industry from several different capacities, from running operations to different roles, capacities on the dealership side, um, through sales management, business development, etc. And I figured here's an opportunity to utilize my experience and my strengths, and help make a positive difference in the industry, to go connect with and share some best practices with folks in the industry, and really offer consulting services to help make them more productive, or address bottlenecks, or help them obtain permits, or anything along the really anything from greenfield feasibility studies to financial aspects of any aggregate operations. So those that the consulting side, I'm super excited about here as well. Had some good conversations with some folks on some potential projects here. Like I said, we're pretty early here, Tom. Just this is really our first season in business,
Yep.
and I'm optimistic about hitting the ground running here.
Now, but you have 20 years in this industry. It's just new to this Crush Mode business. So you've seen it, you've watched it, you're a consultant to it, and what are people what are people seeing out there in your neck of the woods? Are they optimistic for this new company, and how you guys can help them and get them to the next level?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's definitely an opportunity here. It's kind of a niche market, with having this mobile track type equipment. There's not a lot of folks that really cater to that side of the business. There's
Mm-hmm.
the aggregate industry is massive. The operation opportunities are massive. There's a lot of equipment out there. But I'm going to kind of loosely say that there's nobody in this area that really has a primary focus on the track mobile equipment, and that's catering to and targeting contractors, and really getting creative on new ways to process more evolved processes and systems, and I definitely see an opportunity to do so, or I wouldn't have found a Crush Mode here. So I think as far as answering your question in the first place, has it been well received? Yes, it has. It's been welcome. It's fun to reconnect with folks in the area.
Yep.
Being in the industry for 20 years, I've come across a lot of folks. I have a lot of friends in the industry. I've been out of the area for a couple of years here, so it's been great to reconnect with kind of the locals, and looking forward to some opportunities here, and seeing how we could partner together with putting some projects together here going forward.
Sure. And One thing that inspired me and, to talk to you about getting on the podcast is you're a big connector. You're a big person of connecting people and pursuing opportunities through relationships. Kind of talk about that. I know that you have one thing you said to me when we were talking about getting you on was dream big, but don't tell people your dreams. Show them your dreams. Kind of. So you have a mindset, and I've seen it with your LinkedIn posts. Kind of talk about that, like about how you connect and how you do things to help, grow and continue to expand.
What's wonderful about this industry, Tom, is people like doing business with people. People like doing business with people they know, they like, they trust, they respect, and it. I would say those are the most significant factors to business decisions that our target customers would likely make. Yes, pricing's always going to be a factor, but more so it's going to be how well do you know the business? How much do you want to do business with the person that's behind that the face of that business, right? And and what better way to promote the business than to promote the person behind the business, the founder, which is in a unique position, in a unique situation I'm in. And so I have seen the opportunity and the value in connecting with folks on a relational level. I highly prioritize the relational aspect over the transactional aspect, um, because you need to get to know these people. They need to have a level of comfort, a sense of trust with me personally from Crush Mode, and I think that by doing these, I'm really putting out who I am on social media, because people want to get to know me not just on a professional level, but on a personal level, as do I want to get to know people on a more personal level as well, get to know them and their hobbies, their their likes and dislikes,
Yeah,
those
their
sort of things.
interests, their family, and I think that also that just changes the relationship. To your point, it goes from a very transactional, what's the cost, what's the dollar, versus, hey, Tom, can you take care of this for me? It's important, we're doing this and that. And I think that totally changes the game because now there's a relationship and it's not just, about dollars and cents. Everything's got to be about dollars and cents, but also you want to know who you're doing business with and confident. One thing I always say to people is a warranty is as good as the person who gave it to you.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So that's the kind of thing where if you know that you're and again that from your business, that you're there, you're going to be there to show up when if somebody needs you, you're the guy. So I think that connection is great, and I think that helps to pursue ongoing referrals too, because the whole referral game is based on if someone's going to refer you, they have to trust you before they're going to give your name out to somebody.
Absolutely.
And I believe in your world it's a relationship game, because if you do nice work for somebody, they're going to pass you on to the next person, etc., like that.
Yeah, 100%, Tom. And in that comment you made, one of my sides of my business obviously is, like I mentioned, on the marketing side of it, and the brand promotion, the brand recognition, and I had come up with this. I know you kind of alluded to it, the Monday motivation I started doing here, kind of
Yeah,
as
I
a
love
joke.
that.
Just, I shouldn't say kind of as a joke, but it started, very informal. It's still very informal, but it was I can't remember exactly how it started, but it was something along the lines of I was talking to somebody at the gym one morning, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of, they're like, "How do you do this? How do you do that?" And so I gave some advice and kind of gave a little bit about my schedule, my regimen, those sort of things. And they're like, "Man, that's good information. Thanks for sharing. You need to find a platform to really maybe share this. We should start a group, share this stuff." And I was like, man, there maybe is an opportunity here. Where started on Instagram, I believe, and just kind of shared, got up kind of my schedule, what I was doing, and kind of the workout, and a little bit on my diet, what I was eating, and started just kind of bloomed from there. Because people were commenting on it, people I'd see out and about, and they would thank me for sharing that bit of information and tips and tricks that they're implementing some of these things into their lives, and it's that part has been fun. It's yeah, I think a lot of people see it as kind of corny, cheesy. Okay, yeah, here's one of his laughable Monday motivations again. But and there's always going to be those people out there. There's going to be haters on any subject out there, right?
Sure.
But if I can positively impact one person, a couple people's lives with these messages, that's what keeps me going, because I've had some of these pretty deep messages on there for my money motivation, and I've gotten text messages and calls from folks like, man, I was really down in the dumps. I needed to hear that. Thank you for that inspiration. This is
Isn't that
this is
great?
really helping, and it's just fun to hear that. So it's that's why I keep doing it, because it may not touch many people's lives. But even if it's very few, if it's one or two people, it makes a little bit of a difference. That is what's important to me.
Yeah, and you never know who's watching that message, and not everybody hits the like button or the share button or the comment button, but knowing that somebody watched that and they took something away from it, and even if they sent you a private text message, in my mind, that's what it's all about. That's helping someone, and lending a helping hand when someone's down or they're motivated by what you're doing. I think that's great, and I think a lot of people go to social and go to LinkedIn and things like that, and Instagram, to find those. I think there's a lot you could do, waste time on social media, but there's also a lot of education and knowledge and learning you can get from it too, which is awesome. And I think that's kind of how I spotted you. After we built your website, we had connected on LinkedIn, and that's where I had spotted those motivation. And I love it. I love seeing it.
Well, thanks a lot, Tom. That means a lot. Appreciate the feedback there too.
And keep it going, keep it going. And I was talking to a client of mine the other day who was looking to do more in the social media space, and I said, like, it's not fast. Like, there's times where, like, you think a post is going to do really well and it flops on its face, or it doesn't get the traction you think, and then there's other posts that you think are okay and they do very well. And social media is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So as you gain traction, there'll be, there's some great days, and then there's some days where you're like, I thought I would have gotten a little more traction today. So I think that's important for people to remember when they're utilizing the social media networks.
You're 100% accurate. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time to build your network, to build your community, but I would say the most important aspect is just stay consistent, stay repetitive, stay fresh, stay unique, and those are the things that's going to separate you from the next one.
Yeah, totally. And when you say it, stay consistent, that's the key. It's like, you can't just post on social media, write 5 posts in one day, and then don't do it for 2 weeks, and you can't go gaps of time, because then again, people aren't looking for the content. And I think the content's got to be unique, fresh, and creative. I think you got to keep always mixing it up and keeping it engaging.
Absolutely, you bet.
And again, I think within your industry, there's probably some even groups and some like-minded people that are looking for this, on the socials, that will help continue to connect you out to more people in the business as you continue to expand in your market.
No, you're spot on there, Tom. 100%.
So now going with crush mode. What's kind of we're in the spring summer season now. What's happening? What's going to be the next steps? Where are you guys looking to grow, and how are you guys pursuing it?
Well, I would say people's always going to be our primary focus. We just recently hired our first full-time employee here.
Oh, awesome.
Isaac. He's a rock star. He's a great guy, great character. He's got excellent experience in the industry. He has come on as a service technician, helping us support our fleet, as well as supporting really any brand out there for customers and potential customers. So there's a lot of optimism, a lot of excitement around where we're going with him and what we're going to do with the service side of the business, the support side of the business. But the primary focus this year still, besides that, is it's really promoting brand recognition. It's staying in front of people. It's making sacrifices, which I expected. I knew what I was getting into. And it takes a lot of time on the road, a lot of time, unfortunately, time away from the family. But it's important to really, for me, as really the face behind the brand, right? To be in front of people, to introduce myself, to reintroduce myself, to help find opportunities to solve problems, to create solutions that folks have, and and I'm having a lot of fun with it. That's one of my favorite aspects of the business, is really connecting with folks. Like I mentioned, really approaching that whole relational aspect of it. And so having these conversations with them and looking at their operations and trying to find, unique solutions to some of the problems that they may not even know that they have. That's where it's fun for me, just to get to know their operations and I think too many people sit back and wait for their phone to ring in my shoes in the dealership space, and waiting for customers to call and give them a list of their wants and their needs, and not being as proactive to get out to their operations and find those problem areas on your own, which is a passion of mine. I would say it's a strength of mine because as I mentioned, had 20 years in the industry, and the majority of it has been in customers' shoes on the operation side of the business, where I have a good kind of keen sense on what they need, what could help them improve their productivity or cut cost or improve quality or anything along those lines. And that's fun for me. So I would say that is my biggest plan with. I have a large geographic territory right now with my manufacturer, and it's a lot of ground to cover, and I'm not going to cover it all well. There's going to be parts of the area, my territories that I probably can't cover at all right now and until the team grows. But I want to be able to support the work that we're doing, the equipment we're putting into the industry, into the territory, and ensure customers are taken care of. Again, if I was looking at this transactionally, I wouldn't care about the support side. Let's go get a deal. Let's get a sale, and customers can figure how they're going to support it after the sale. That's not the way I look at this. I want to be able to say, okay, if I'm going to put a unit out here, I got to be able to support it. I got to be able to be available. I got to be able to be present when a need may arise, right? And so I'm really looking at it that way. Let's build this one step at a time. I do have big dreams. I do have big goals that we're going to 100% fully support our territory that we have announced, and we have contracted with IROC, our amazing manufacturer that we're representing. And they know these.
How did you guys connect?
Well, I got to know IROC really through an industry event. There's a large publication that I've been a part of on a roundtable discussion from Pit and Quarry magazine.
Okay.
That is a part of North Coast Media Group, and the wonderful publication, wonderful people, and we get together once a year and we have a roundtable discussion to talk about hot topics, trends, issues, challenges within the industry. And it's been a roundtable event by invite, and I've been a part of this now for I think 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Nate Russell, who is one of the executives with IROC, has been a part of this event as well, and I got to know him here a little bit. Had an introduction. I introduced myself to him at the roundtable because I'd been watching IROC for some time, and I really admired what they were doing out there. I wanted to get to know him a little better. I wanted to get to know the company a little bit better, and kind of understand, what's a little more about their business as a whole. So I introduced myself to him. We left the round table. I called him up again. I don't know, a couple weeks later, and just had a follow up conversation, and we kind of just took it one step at a time. Took it a little bit further there. Started having a conversation. What would this look like if we were working together, partnered on this?
Uh-huh.
um, and one thing led to another, and it's a wonderful opportunity for me. It's a wonderful opportunity for Crush Mode. It's a wonderful opportunity for IROC, because at the same time they're in the middle of growing their dealer network as well, and they have a lot of uncovered territories out there, and so it's exciting for us all working together and building this. I view this as a partnership with IROC. It's
Sure.
it's not here. I'm a dealer. You're a manufacturer. How are we going to work together to build this and promote this? Make sure that the ball doesn't drop, and that the whole brand, the IROC brand as a whole, as well as Crush Mode brand, is well supported, well represented, and making sure that we are keeping their reputation on high priority here.
That's awesome. That's great that you guys are, kind of a partnership, and you guys going into it as a partnership and knowing up front that you want to work together for the brand. I think that's important, because I think a lot of times, that vendor relationship has to be strong. Otherwise, there will be failure, because there will be some change and failure and something that needs to be fixed. And if they have your back and you have their back, it makes life a lot easier for everybody.
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
customer service doesn't slide because of that. And I think that's the key to it.
100%. That is the most important factor, is the customer service, the after sales support.
Yeah. So that's great. And that's great that you found them, and that, you believe in them, and that they're going to help you grow. So that's fantastic. And, kind of go into a little bit of the grittiness, because right now you're hustling, you're out there, you're away from family, you have a big territory. So kind of how's that grit, playing into this? Because, this wasn't just an easy slam dunk, let's get started, and it's a huge success.
I love that term, grit. Tom, it's I use it. We use it with my daughter. She does a lot of travel basketball, travel volleyball. The team gets down, and it's funny, because I was talking to her about this between games here a couple of weeks ago. One of the tournaments is like, grit. What does that mean to you? You got to have grit. Like, yeah, and you're getting down, not getting the win. You got to pick your team up. You got to battle through it. You got to fight through it, whatever it takes. Get comfortable being uncomfortable and put in the extra effort. And that is how I approach this right now with Crush Mode. And I did one of my Monday motivations on that. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that is kind of, in a nutshell, grit for me. It's the sacrifices. It's refusing to lose. It's refusing to give up when times are tough. And you want to throw in the towel. You maybe have regret. And everybody, I think, goes through that. I'm not the only one. Maybe question of if this was a right decision to make. And then I start, having, give myself a little pep talk, like, dude, you knew what you were signing up for. This has been your dream for many, many years. And it's going to take some grit to ensure that this is successful. And you got to refuse to lose. You got to refuse to quit. You got to refuse to stop, whatever it takes. And I say that within reason, by being, I shouldn't say whatever it takes, but it's putting the extra effort. And I don't want, let me back up. I don't want to say whatever it takes, because there are people that do approach business whatever it takes, but then it becomes, unethical or sometimes illegal, and I would never go down those lines. It's basically, it's refusing to quit, though, and whatever it takes,
Legally.
effort wise,
Yeah.
with legally, ethically, relationally, respectfully, and it's getting out there, refusing to quit.
Agree. I think that's a great way to look at it, because I think a lot of times it's easy to throw in the towel. It's easy to say, oh, this didn't work. It's easy to say, this wasn't for me, or, there's 100 reasons why. But, to be in business is hard. It's not a, it's not an easy breezy just wake up and go in a lot of cases, and especially for small business owners, especially guys that are hustling to get it done. I think that's I think it's admirable. And anybody, fail, even businesses that fail, it's admirable to take that kind of bet. When you look at the odds are so stacked against you to be in business after 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. That anybody willing to take that bet and chase their dreams, I think I there's something to be said for that.
100%. One thing I would like to mention here is I would say one of the most significant factors that's going to impact the success of Crush Mode is a couple all-star dudes that have partnered with me, that have believed in the Crush Mode dream, that have believe in me as a person as well. And with Brady Nash and Andrew Abernathy and their group there, I mean, I couldn't ask for better dudes to be partnered with on this, and they have a ton of experience building and scaling businesses, a lot of success in business. And I'm really looking forward to leaning on them for their experience and their expertise on scaling Crush Mode as we go along here too. And not just excited about them being partners because of their business experience and whatnot, but also because they're great dudes, they're great family men, they're great men of faith. I mean, they really built firm foundations, and it speaks volumes about them as a whole and where they've come and where they're going. And I'm just super excited to be partnered with them and associated with them and able to call them friends of mine.
That's awesome. That's great. And I don't know. I know Brady very well, and he's a great guy. From the first day I met him through BNG to doing work with him on other projects, he's just been a great guy to be connected with and have in your corner. So that's awesome. So I see nothing but success coming, for Crush Mode, and I think that it's going to continue to accelerate scale, and before long you're going to be expanding that territory.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's, like I mentioned, that's the dream, that's the goal, and I'm keeping it in reality and keeping it in perspective and really building it one step at a time here. But I am a firm believer that is going to happen, Tom.
That's fantastic. So let me do this. I'd like to let our guests, as we wrap up, I'd like to have our guests know where they can find you. So let them know. I know that you mentioned LinkedIn and you mentioned Instagram today, as well as your website, so that people could find you after this chat.
Yeah, so they can find us online. Google Crush Mode. Our website is crush-mode.com. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can search up Crush Mode on any one of those platforms, or myself personally, Micah Tysver. Would look forward to would be great to connect with some listeners here and get to know them as well. And I guess I thank you for your time here, Tom, and I look forward to the next one. And it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. You
got it. I'm glad that we got to connect, and I will be talking to you soon. And have a great day, and keep hustling, and stay with it, and understand there's no quitting, and continue to grow.